Today we are planning to quickly show you how the BRF Plus looks like, what are the different elements and tables within the BRF Plus. We have spoken about the functions and the formulas within BRF Plus. Today we'll quickly cover that because that was not covered yesterday, so I won't take much time on that. So we'll cover the BRF Plus screen, and then we'll look into the price fixations and allocation. And this is more commonly used within the ACM space, the price fixation and the allocation. Then we'll have Nikhil talk about CPF pricing and how we can use the CPF pricing for quality analysis and the quality adjustments within the CPE area. Although CPF is commonly used with SD and MM as well, but we utilize the same engine of CPF for any quality adjustment within commodity as well. Then we'll quickly also talk about the tiered pricing and if required gross and net, because gross and net is not used for ACM world, but is more common in the oil and gas world. So we'll quickly touch base on that as well. So that will be the agenda for today. And to start with, I will start sharing my screen and quickly show you how BRF Plus looks like. This is one of our test system, and I'll quickly show you what are the different objects within the BRF Plus. I won't go deep into that because we have already covered yesterday, but I'll just quickly show you how the application looks like and what are the different aspects. So this is the application level where, so in this system we don't have the authorization to display it, but in application we have the data elements. So these are the different objects that we can have within the application. So we have different data elements and take these data elements as different fields that need to be used within the price calculations for our different rules. So each data element will be equivalent to a field. So whatever field we want to use for our logic for the price determination is being defined here. And apart from data element, we have some structures, and these are some of the standard delivered structures. Like whenever we run a decision table, a decision for determining formula or the term details, we provide some input data to get the output data, right? So there are some input structures already provided and also the output structures. And these structures are available for formula level, term level, and the basis pricing, all of this. I'll come to the table later, and the reason is I'll start with the functions. So within a function, let me see if I can get a different system where I can display it. So in this system we can display. So these are the normal. This is a normal application, and this is standard delivered, not the Z one, but apart from Z, this will be standard delivered application, and we do copy into a Z application and work on top of it. We do not change the standard delivered application. And like I said, within the data objects, we have different elements like the basis IDs and every other aspects, whatever we want to use. Structures we've already seen. Let's get back to expressions. Sorry, let me see, there's nothing in the table. Okay, let's get back to the function because this is the starting point. And yesterday we have seen that in the pricing procedure, when we assign the BRF Plus application, we assign the functions there, right? And these are the important objects of BRF Plus. So let me take an example of sales formula. If you see a sales formula function has some contents in it, right? It has it can have different data elements, or it can have some of the structures. So here it is a structure, right? And this structure, if you see, has all the data elements. So in a way, we are providing some input structure here, and what would be the output structure? So you see the output structure is formula in this case. This is one data element. So you have functions. Within the function, you have one rule set. Like I said yesterday, you have one function which has a rule set, which has a set of different rules, right? How the formula will be determined. If you click on the rule set, you see there are numerous rules here, right? And hence the name rule set. Each line is one rule. So this is rule 1, rule 2. And that's the order in which the system performs the rule. So for instance, first the system performs this decision table 90 to find the formula key. And if you see, there comes the decision table. If you see the table settings, then that's the decision table. These are the input parameters, and this is the output parameter. So based on the condition type, ship to party, plant, material, price list, and validity date, you get the formula key, right? And these input parameters, these are a part of these data elements are a part of the input structure, what we saw at the function level, right? So that's how these are being determined. So if you go backward, so decision table gives you the formula ID, and the decision table is a part of each rule. Similarly, if this rule is not found, you can say make another rule that if nothing is found, it's blank, then go to this table and find if anything is found, right? And here the combinations can be different. The data elements can be different. So decision table within each rule, and a set of rules are a part of rule set, and the rule set is available in the function, and the function is activated for that application, which has been called within the pricing procedure. And that's how this works end to end from the BRF Plus side. And if we quickly see, so Nikhil will be talking about the CPF formulas as well, but if you quickly see, that's how this gets determined. The BRF Plus function is called within the document, and this document runs on top of the BRF Plus rules. So in this case, this is a CPF formula, and in normal CPE, you can see this is a fixed price, but in normal CPE, you can see how the BRF Plus evaluation happened. If you see this, the formula assembly log, you can see how each decision table was working, right? And you can also see here, this is something I think we didn't see yesterday. Here you can also see how each decision table was executed to come up with the right formula. So here you can see the function of formula was executed, and you can see where the formula was found. The formula was found in decision table 200. Right here, the formula was found. Okay. So this is how you can do the analysis of the BRF Plus. So this is for the CP, and for CPF, again, Nikhil will be taking into deep, but you assign the function to the condition type, and you execute this function. You get all these calculations done. Okay. So that's the high level on the BRF Plus. I will move forward to the price fixations and price allocation. Like I said, this is more commonly used in ACM space. And ACM, we may have some floating prices for any delivery period and quantity. For instance, we have a contract with the counterparty where we are making a contract for 10,000 bushels. And for 10,000 bushels, we are expecting the delivery to happen in the month of August, right? So it is a future period. And the prices can be CP relevant, which is based on the index price. Now, when we say index price, these prices are floating, right? It can go either ways. So the counterparty can agree to fix a price for certain quantity, parcel quantity or for full quantity. So for out of 10,000 bushels, they can agree to fix the price of 5,000 bushels at X dollars per bushel, right? Or X dollars something bushels. Or they can agree to fix the price for the whole 10,000 lot, right? So when they do that, this is called the price fixations. And there are certain criteria on how they can fix it and when this can be fixed. So these are called the price fixation options. Like they can say that, okay, I can fix the price until this. I cannot fix the price unless the quotation period has started, or I can fix the price only until the quotation period is valid. After that, I shouldn't be able to do that. Or I can manually fix a date that, okay, until this date only I can do the fixation, otherwise I cannot. So there are different options which we'll look into the slide going forward. But that's the whole idea what a price fixation is. Okay, and after this slide, we'll also be able to see how the final prices are being determined based on the fixed prices of the lot and the floating prices. We'll see that in a while. I mean, very, very soon. Okay, and this is the same stuff what we discussed already, that whenever the price negotiation happens between the counterparties, they can either fix a price, fixed price, or they can do a floating price. They can leave it as floating based on the market data, or they can do both. I mean, partially fix a price for the parcel lot and let the rest of the lot be floating, right? These are the different ways how we can do the price fixations. This is the same price fixation options what we discussed earlier, and the different aspects which can be playing a role in what are the options how we can fix a price are like this. There can be an exercise period, like from and to period when I can do this exercise of fixing a price. There is a limit we can set, right? We can also set a limit on the quantity, how much quantity I can do the fixation for. Like if I have 10,000 bushels, I can limit that I cannot do fixation more than 50% of it or more than 5,000 of it. Okay, I can do that as well. So that's another one. And I can also say how the quantity will be maintained in the exercise, whether it can be done based on percentage or based on total or based on certain quantities. And you can also define in for the overfill quantities something like which is not defined in the fixation, whether you want that to be priced based on floating price or based on the last fixation price or something like that. You can do that as well. So there are different options which you can do in this exercise. Okay, and all these options, all these criteria, how this can be happening is set only once for each term. And within each term, you can set different exercises, different quantities with different prices. I will see that. But this rule of the price fixation is set once, is common for all the different quantities within the same term. So this is an example where similar example what I was talking. So a contract is being created for 1,000 tons, and the floating price is the average of LME copper, right? And we have the option to do the price fixation on this. Now this is a floating price, right? We have not fixed the prices yet. When the order is coming, I mean, when the order is booked, when the sales order is created, or it can be purchase order, but sales order is created, we do the price fixation for 700 tons. So out of 1,000 tons, I have fixed the price for 700 tons, and the rate is $700 per ton. Sorry, $7,000 per ton. So the other 300 tons is still floating. We have not fixed the price yet for 300 tons. So the delivery happens in August, and in August, the closing price of this quotation rule is $7,200 per ton, right? So how do we expect the final pricing to happen? So in this case, the price fixation will be honored and 700 tons will be booked at $7,000 per ton rate, and the rest 300 will be booked at the rate of $7,200 per ton. So that's how the pricing will happen here. And all this is because we have done the price fixation here. Okay. And because of the allocation, and that allocation can be manual or automatic, the delivery gets allocated to this price rate, and this gets the floating rate. That's how the final invoice will be created. So this slide is talking about where do we exercise the price fixation. We do the price fixation at each term level. So if a formula has two different terms, we can do price fixation at each of these terms. And each term can have different price fixation quantities. Like each term can have three pricing lots with different fixation values. We can do that. And this is same stuff what we spoke earlier, that the calculation of the total term rate will depend on the quantity which has been fixed and the quantity which is still floating. And the floating quantity is automatically determined by the system based on the total line item quantity, total commodity quantity, and the quantity which has been fixed using